Let's go to France. Dan Carter has admitted, and I quote, making a massive error of judgment after being caught drink driving in Paris. The former All Black has apologised via Facebook, saying there are no excuses for letting down his French rugby club, fans and family. The story was reported by the French newspaper L'Equipe. Richard Escaut is a journalist for the newspaper. I asked him what appears to have happened.
What happened is that Dan Carter, in the night on Wednesday 15 to Thursday 16, he was controlled by French police in Champs-Élysées. First of all, because he was driving too fast. And I think they just chased the car, stopped him, and asked him to make an alcoholemic test. And the thing is, his blood test is 0.988, which is nearly 1 gram of alcohol per liter of blood, and the double of the limit. So the thing is, they asked him to put the car aside. He came back home. He was not jailed or put on a cell to stop the alcoholemic problem, but he lost 6 points out of 12. We have 12 points on the French driving license, so it's big offense. That's one of the biggest, 6 points, and he will be caught in the next week for this offense, and that's a big offense because I tell you, it can go to jail. I don't think that will happen, but the maximum is a jail offense, and then it's about 7,000 New Zealand dollars. Penalty. And
that's the maximum penalty, is it?
That's a maximum penalty.
Right. And
I tell you, it's a big fuse, just because he's Dan Carter. But the thing is that it could be a very difficult time for him.
Richard, I don't think we understand how big a name Dan Carter is in France, because in New Zealand he's a huge name. He's one of our most famous rugby players ever. But he's big news in France too, isn't he? He's well known.
Oh yes, he's like Richie McCaw. Is the most famous, with Johnny Wilkinson, most famous rugby players on the last 2 decades. So his name is equal as the best soccer player on the planet, like Lionel Messi, like Ibrahimovic. It's a big name, and Dan Carter is iconic because rugby, you know, is a game full of values, full of attitudes, and people expect him to be without any weakness. You know what I mean? And what happened last night is something quite important in France, because it seems like even a guy like Dan Carter, a couple of years ago, nothing will go out. You know what I mean? He will be stopped by the police. They will say, "Oh, you're Dan Carter, you can go out." At the moment, it looks like it's zero tolerance for who you are, even if you're Mr. Nobody, John Doe, or Dan Carter. And Dan Carter is a big name, and I think police want to make a big fuse and big buzz about that, just to show that nobody is above the law.
Richard Escaut from L'Equipe newspaper.